Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Hello everybody. So this is the recording for our next lecture. And we are now in the topic number 10. Alright. We are now in topic number 10. Islamic perspective on corporate social responsibility. I hope that you can give your attention towards this particular online lecture, okay? Because there are several questions, okay, in our quiz, okay, that you need to answer, inshallah, today, okay, through Goals platform. So please look into Goals platform right after you have done watching this particular topic, okay, recorded topic, and also the other topic. Alright, business ethics. So we are moving into the discussion of Islamic perspective on CSR, which is corporate social responsibility. And the objectives of this particular topic is, after you have read this topic, you should be able to explain what is social responsibility and what is corporate social responsibility. And then you should be able to elaborate the main domains of social responsibility, which are number 1, stakeholders, number 2, the natural environment, and number 3, the general social welfare. Okay, very simple. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So talking about corporate social responsibility, the mainstream, okay, the common thing been done by organization is by having their contribution towards the life, towards the earth, towards the nature, and so on. But when talking about CSR, corporate social responsibility, the application of CSR is more than that. It is not merely on what an organization can do for the nature. For instance, they are having the program of planting some trees, okay. Contohnya macam pokok di hutan bakau kan, di pantai Paya Bakau, they plant some pokok lah over there, alright. And then maybe they are planting some trees to menyegar-bugarkan to make the forest to be better again, okay, so that kayu-kayu balak yang dipotong tu diganti dengan kayu-kayu balak yang baharu lah. So as what I told you just now, CSR, corporate social responsibility, is also related to humanity. It's related to the concept of helping others. Okay, organizations will spend some money to organize or to have some programs such as gotong royong, like in the picture now. So these are among the activities in CSR. So talking about CSR as well, okay, again, it is related to humanity. It is also related to the nature in the same time. Talking about social responsibility by corporate people, okay, they tend to have things, and they tend to have things, and they need to make it public lah, so that their organization, the activity done by the organization, okay, will be well known by the public and also the government. Because any companies, okay, who have CSR project will get some benefits. Among others, they will get cut in terms of the what we call in terms of the subhanallah. Sorry. So the organizations can get cut in terms of the tax that they need to pay to the government. Alright. So talking about that, CSR project is serampang dua mata, to kill two birds by one stone. Maksudnya while they are having their programs with the community, For the environment. They also have program for the sake of getting profit in terms of the tax cutting lah. Alright, now we move on to the introduction to CSR. Social responsibility refers to the obligations that an organization has to protect and in the same time contribute to the society in which it functions. Corporate social responsibility is the continuing commitment by business to behave ethically and contribute to economic development while improving the quality of life of the workforce, the families, as well as of the local community and society at large. So it means that corporate social responsibility can be inner programs, okay, internal programs, such as programs for the workers in an organization, the families, the needies in organization. And it is also external people or external project. Among them are the local community and also society at large. So practically, pertaining to CSR organizations and companies make profits unhindered except by fulfilling their duty to pay taxes. Then they donate a certain share of the profits to charitable causes. It is seen as tainting the act for the company to receive any benefit from the giving. So killing two birds with one stone. Okay, to get pay tax cut, and then they can also marketize their organization to the public, the products to the public, and at the same time they can contribute to the well-being of the public. For example, I take McDonald's or KFC, when they are having their CSR project with the community, they are getting the cut for pay tax, the cut for their tax, okay, that they need to pay to the government, and then they can promote their products, okay, their meals and whatsoever, and in the same time they are contributing to the well-being of the society. Corporate social responsibility refers to operating a business in a manner that accounts for the social and environmental impact created by the business. For example, if you are having a factory, okay, that produces some chemical products, for instance, okay, some contagious products, for instance. So when they are having such products as their outcomes or outputs, so how can they do CSR project? For sure, they can have what we call as the environmental based CSR project. By taking care of the environments, they are having their factory are having the waste, okay, maybe that can pollute the air and so on, but they can control the pollution by having this CSR project. Maybe they are having some cleaning project of their own waste all along the places that been affected by the factory and so on. And then CSR means a commitment to developing policies which integrate responsibility practices into daily business operations and to reporting on progress made toward implementing these practices. CSR reports now typically address issues impacting virtually every area of operations. The reporting of CSR now typically address issues impacting virtually every area of operations. For example, governance and ethics, worker hiring, opportunity and training, responsible purchasing and supply chain policies, and energy and environmental impact. So this is merely a kind of internal CSR that they can do, that they can contribute, okay, and it's considered as CSR. So corporate social responsibility is also perceived as a management concept whereby companies integrate social and environmental concerns in their business operations and interactions with their stakeholders. Alright, we move on to organization exercises social responsibility. According to B. Kuhn, Hiloli, and Risk, an organization exercises social responsibility in 3 domains. Okay, organization exercises social responsibility in 3 domains. Number 1, its stakeholders. Number 2, the natural environment. And number 3, the general social welfare. We move to the first domain for social responsibility exercised by an organization, which is organizational stakeholders. If we can have a look, okay, in the table, okay, so there are 3 focus areas related to CSR, and there are several stakeholders and also issues related to the stakeholders and also focus area. Relationship of the organization to its employees. Okay, when we talk about that, so the responsibility of the management or the owner of a firm, of a company, for instance. So the stakeholders always the employees. So issues related to employees are hiring and firing by the owner of the company, the owner of the manager of the company, okay, and then wages, working condition, privacy and beliefs, and so on. So all those issues are related to employees when we talk about CSR. So how can organization satisfy the needs of the employees in order to fulfill the conception of CSR internally? The next focus area is relationship of employees to the organization. So this is vice versa. So CSR on the workers themselves. So the stakeholder will always be the organization or the firm. So issues related to these stakeholders, okay, in the second area, okay, second focus area are conflict of interest, secrecy, honesty, and also commitment of the employees or the workers for the organization. The third focus area is relationship of the firm to key stakeholders. Relationship of the organization to several key stakeholders. So among the stakeholders are, number 1, suppliers. So issues related to suppliers is cost of inputs. Number 2 is buyers. So issues related to buyers are hoarding and price manipulation. Okay, how can we have good CSR is by having a good or consistent, okay, istiqomah price of goods that we sell to the buyers. So issues related to CSR among the buyers as stakeholders are hoarding and price manipulation, quantity and quality of goods, selling strategy, and also riba in financing sales. And then we have the other kind of stakeholders. I think you can read it by yourselves. Okay, we move to the first focus area, okay, which is the relationship of the organization to its employees. So talking about the first focus area, it is related to the contribution, corporate social responsibility contribution by the organization to the internal factor or the internal element, which is the employees. So in non-Islamic setting, ethical standards are often dictated by the behavior of managers. So it means that the power is in the hands of managers, no other else. So these standards cover hiring and firing, wages, sexual harassment, privacy, and respect for individual belief. For example, in hiring, promotion, and other human resources related decisions, Islam promotes equal treatment to all workers, no matter the color of the skin, no matter the religion, no matter the beliefs, and so on. So when a manager is evaluating one's performance against others, fairness and justice are prerequisites. In terms of fair wages, Ibn Taymiyyah suggests that an employer is under obligation to pay a fair remuneration to his employees. Okay, because he has the authority, he has the power, so he need to assure that they need to pay a fair remuneration to the employees. Some employers may take advantage of a worker and underpay him because of their need for income. And Islam is actually against such exploitation. If the wage is too low, the particular workers may not feel motivated to put in adequate amount of working effort at the workplace. Then, related to respect for employees' belief, Muslim businessmen should not treat their employees as though Islam is inconsequential during business hour. And then, talking about relationship of the organization to its employees again, okay, so Muslim workers should be given ample time to perform prayer, should not be coerced into acting against Islamic ethical code, okay, should be given relief if they are sick and cannot perform their work, so should not be harassed sexually, and so on. So in regards to employees' right to privacy, if any employee has a physical problem which prevents him from performing certain tasks, so the employer must not make it known to the other workers in the organisation. If not, malulah orang tu, kan? So this would breach the privacy of the employee. Alright, we move on to the focus area 2, relationship of the employees to the firm. Okay, many ethical issues characterize the relationship of the employee to the organisation, especially with respect to honesty, secrecy, and conflict of interest. So, talking about CSR among employees, it is vice versa, as what I told you just now. It's not only the obligation of the organisation to give some social responsibility to the workers, but in the same time, the workers also need to give their responsibility. Apart from working responsibility, it's a kind of social responsibility to the organisation as well. Thus, an employee must neither misappropriate the funds of the company, not revealing company's confidential information and intellectual properties to competitors, and so on. So it means that social responsibility among the workers must be about the loyalty. Okay, how loyal they are to the organisation, being measured by their social contribution to the organisation in terms of keeping all the secret, the confidential documents from being stolen by the competitors of the organisation, and so on. So employees should repay the organisation with high commitment. The organisation had pay salary to them, so that mean they need to repay the salary that they got with high commitment by showing an excellent performance from time to time. Alright, next is the relationship of the organisation to key stakeholders. An organisation exists in the web of relationships with a whole array of stakeholders, which include suppliers, buyers, customers, and so on. So to take suppliers as a stakeholder, business ethics suggests that one should negotiate a fair price when dealing with them and not take any advantage on the suppliers. Okay, so if you are looking into the next example, okay, the next example of stakeholder of the organisation is buyers or customers. Buyers should expect to receive goods they bought that are in working conditions and priced fairly. So when we as organisation are dealing with buyers as our stakeholders, so we need to assure that the service or the products that we sell to the buyers will be received by the buyers in good condition. and the price that we sell, of the product that we sold to the buyer must be appropriate with the quality that we provide to them. So the buyers should be notified of any deficiencies. Kalau ada apa-apa kekurangan, we need to tell the buyers about the kekurangan lah, the deficiencies. So Islam forbids the following practices when dealing with buyers or consumers. Okay, you can read by yourself lah. Okay, use of incorrect weights and measures, and then we are practicing riba and so on. Next example is the stakeholders that we call as debtors, orang yang berhutang, where Islam encourages benevolence. So as organisation, okay, we need to take a good care of the conception of benevolence when we are dealing with debtors. So if any debtors is in financial trouble, Allah encourage kindness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about this in Al-Baqarah, ayat number 280. So if the businessman himself is a debtor, where he has incurred some debts in financing his business, so he needs to repay them. In Islam, repayment of debts is so important that all the sins of a shahid are forgiven except for his unpaid debts, kecuali hutang yang tak diselesaikan. Okay, next is the conception of CSR with the natural environment. For many years, organizations got rid of their waste products by discharging them in the air, into the rivers, and on the land. So acid rain, global warming, greenhouse are some of the consequences resulted from this irresponsible of the organization. Muslims are encouraged to appreciate the beauty of the nature. In fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to the beauty of the natural environment as one of his signs in Fatir, ayat number 27 to 28. In his role as a vicegerent, the Muslim businessman is expected to take care of his natural environment accordingly to what Islam asked them to do. Next is about the general social welfare. Besides behaving responsibly towards their stakeholders and towards the natural environment, Muslims and the organizations they work in, okay, are expected to care about the general welfare of the society they live in. As part of the community, Muslims businessmen need to watch over the welfare of its weak and destitute members. On the other hand, if any person spends the night hungry, the blame is shared by the community because it did not attempt to take care of him. So ini namanya fardu kifayah. Alright, now we move on to Islamic perspective on CSR. Okay, the final exam words are not supposed to be there, right? So in contrast to the Western theories, the Islamic view on CSR takes a rather holistic approach. It offers an integrality spiritual view based on the teachings of the Quran and the Sunnah, providing a better alternative philosophical framework for man's interaction with nature as well as his fellow men. In fact, the moral and ethical principles derived from divine revelations are more enduring, more eternal, and absolute. Thus, may serve as a better guidelines for corporations when they are exercising their business and social responsibilities simultaneously. So they are having their production, okay, to get profit, but in the same time they are exercising social responsibilities towards the community. So the determination of what is beneficial and what is harmful cannot be left to human reasoning alone. Human reasoning plays a role only within a framework of guidance provided by the Sharia. So talking about all this, alright, I hope that you can read by yourself, okay. So that's all for this particular topic. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.